All right, here we go again. I think this is day 9 on the Hudson. So, last video, I know I did the engine mounts. So now it's time to do the transmission mount. And slept on it a little bit, try to figure out some ideas. And I think this is where we are at this point. So when I left this off, transmission is just kind of sitting there right now in the steel. And the concern is for the drive shaft. I'm going to have to remove the brace that was for the original carrier bearing and notch open that rear cross member that was on the... it wasn't a problem with the original setup because it had a 2-piece drive shaft, so it had very little movement going through that hole. Yeah. I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to do it yet because I am going to swap out this rear axle. It's obviously got a pinion seal leak, and there's probably nothing wrong with this rear, and it would probably work fine. But just to keep the wheel bolt pattern the same for the moment, I'm going to find an S10 rear to put in, which is not strong. They're only 7.5 or 7.65s, but until I have time to narrow down an 8.8, I think this is what I'll just put in for now. These rears are 56 inches wide, wheel mounting to wheel mounting. The narrowed Explorer rear axle, if you take 3 inches off one end, is 56. That'd be perfect, but I don't have time to do that on this build. So an S10 rear from a 2-wheel drive is about 54.5. And I can make that work, even if I got to put 1-inch wheel spacers on it. Again, this is not a drag car. I just need this car to run and drive. So for the moment, I'm not going to touch the drive shaft until I get that S10 rear. I'm working on that right now. So this video, next step will be transmission cross member. All right, so now to get started on this, there's only 2 options. Either make my own cross member out of whatever, or modify something that already is. I have some steel. I could make my own, and I also have a probably 1st or 2nd gen Camaro, Nova, whatever type subframe cross member from a swap meet. One of my, $10 or $20 grab 'em deals. Anytime I see these laying around cheap, I buy them because they're nice to have. What's neat about these is they have the hump in them for exhaust clearance. So it just makes it easier for routing the exhaust once you put that in. So first thing I'm going to do is just bolt a mount on that transmission and see where I am as far as height. Alright, so I got a brand new urethane transmission mount. No, I didn't buy it new. It's a swap meet thing, $5. Don't think I sold out. I'm still buying junk parts. Alright, so we got the trans mount in there with, it came with like an 1/8 inch shim, which could always be removed if I wanted to lower the transmission another 1/8 inch. Now right now I know I have my transmission should be shifted over 1 inch that way. I think it was an inch. Was it an inch or a 1/2 inch? I don't even remember now. It was a 1/2 inch because I'm at 14 there. Now it's an inch and I'm 13 there. Okay, so I'm an inch that way. So if I decide to modify this, I have to not cut it straight. It has to be offset from the center in order to work. Now, to do that, I have to make mounts over here on the sides to hold this thing. Maybe angle iron or something simple will work. It's just a matter of where this wants to be. Now, the top of the frame is too high, which is good because that means my mount will be somewhere in this area, I would hope. Alright, I'm going to see how this works. I'm going to cut the ends off this and make it the right width to fit into here. Alright, So I took a minute to quickly degrease this thing because it was disgusting. And I cut the ends off. Let's see, is this the bolt that goes with it? And of course, does it fit the cross member? Barely. Seems like it should be longer. Well, let's see what we got here. All right, hang on here. All right, bolt this up. All right, so that's where we're going from there now. All right, so I did a couple things here. Cut the ends off the cross member. Put some slices in the sides, heated the ends up and beat them somewhat flat. So basically I'll drill holes in that to copy what was on the end. I also had to slice the sides of the mount here and change that angle a little bit to get it to what I need. And now put this up under the car. It'd be something like that. They're high. The ends of the cross member are high. Well, better not, it's the top of the frame, but I can weld brackets off of that if I want. I'm gonna bolt it up and see what's better, to either drill holes in the ends of this thing or maybe just put some flat steel off it down to the sides. All right, this is where I struggle trying not to go down the rabbit hole. I'm going to keep this simple. I have to keep focused because first thing I'm doing with this is like, oh, maybe I should make longer mounts, and so I have adjustability in case I change transmission styles, like a Turbo 350 or something or whatever, and that's just not going to happen. I need to just stay focused. So simple and quick. Transmission cross member is just bolted to the trans. I'm going to weld a couple pieces of angle iron to the frame and a couple through bolts into the cross member, and done. And stay out of the rabbit hole. Complete and in. I did not go down the rabbit hole. So that worked out good. Like I said, that was just a second gen Camaro or something, cross member. Shortened, flattened on the ends, and just some L brackets, angle iron welded to the frame. It's pretty beefy stuff. It's like 1/8 inch thick. So that shouldn't go anywhere. I think that's about it for that. The engine and transmission are in. And I just made a deal for an S10 rear axle. So that will be getting installed shortly, and then be dealing with the drive shaft, getting that made. I'll be making it, and continuing on. So I think I'll end this here. That'll be it for day 9. And I'll see you on the next one.